Hi friends, it's Peggy Noe from prettypapercards.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm here today to give you 3 tips for using Stampin' Blends. Now, Stampin' Blends are beautiful alcohol markers, and they come in a variety of beautiful colors, and they're the Stampin' Up! Colors that coordinate with our Stampin' Up! Cardstock and ink and ribbons and so forth. So I'm going to give you my 3 basic tips today on how to use them. So this is the card we're going to work with. This is the card I made from the All That You Are stamp set, and I've used the Stampin' Blends to color in here, and I'm going to show you how. So I've gone ahead and stamped the image in the Tuxedo Black Memento ink, and now we're ready to color. I'm just going to color this main flower for you just to show you the technique. So I'm going to start with my Calypso Coral Stampin' Blends, and they come in a combo pack with the dark and the light. So I'm going to start with the light, and there's more of a pointed end and more of a brush-like end, and I'm just going to tell you I prefer the brush-like end. So I'm going to go in and color. And my tip for you, tip number 1, is do not get close to the ends. Stay back from the ends. And the reason is because they will move, the alcohol will move a little bit outside of your line. So it's not like coloring with crayons or regular markers. You don't want to get up too close to the edge, just a bit back of the edge. You can always go back like I am right here. But the main thing is stay back from the edge, because otherwise you're going to have color outside your lines, and that causes a problem. So I'm staying a little bit back from my edges. And I'm just filling in now with the light Calypso Coral color, staying back from the edges. That's my number 1 tip. And this is just a beautiful color, beautiful soft pinky orange. And this is probably the longest part of this that we just need to fill in here, and then I'm going to show you the other tips. I'd like to know in the comments, you can leave me if you're experienced with the Stampin' Blends, whether you like the brush end or the more pointed end. I'd be interested to know. So I'm going to go around these little whatever you call them there. I'm trying to think of my the names of the flower parts, like pistil or something like that. I don't know. Some of you who know that better can let me know. Okay, so we've got that color, the light color, all done. Now our second point is shading. We're going to shade with the dark Calypso Coral Stampin' Blend. Now I'm going to tell you right now that I am not an artist in any way. I don't have any art training, but I have watched what other people have done with their Stampin' Blends. And so I'm just coming in, and I notice that they go along the edges. They go in the bottom and they go along the edges to give some shading. So I'm just going to do that, and I'll show you how we blend that together in a little bit, where the petals meet and kind of at the base of the petals. And I'm going to put quite a bit right in there, because you would imagine there would be some shading in there and over here. Okay, and I see that I forgot to color that little bit there. So now we're going to go back, and this is, I believe, why they're called Stampin' Blends, is that you blend all this together. So you go back with your light color and you just blend the dark in, and you get the shading that you want. And you know, if you're a perfectionist, it's a little bit hard, because you just don't, you know, it's hard to be perfect. But I'll tell you that when you're finished, it'll come out very beautiful, and people will be amazed at your technique. So again, I'm continuing to blend in, and I'm going over the lines, which I can because this is Memento ink and it doesn't move, so I can go over the lines. So I'm blending in that shading there. And I'm going to blend in here, being careful not to get any color in the little centers there, because I'm going to color those with a different color. So I'm just getting more shading. I turn my paper around and get up here. Do you see how that's just blending in? That needs a little more blending right in there. Okay, now what do you think? Already you're seeing it kind of come to life, aren't you? I'm thinking it might need a little bit more darkness right up in here, right up in this area. Just going to give it a little bit more, and maybe a little shading right in here. And then we'll blend that in. Just a little bit there. What do you think? Okay. Now I'm going to color the center of my flowers, those little, I'm sure someone will correct me and show me. I'm going to use the pointed tip this time, and I'm using Lovely Lipstick, the light shade of the Lovely Lipstick combo pack, right in there. Okay, so your first two tips were stay back from the edge, and I don't really think we went out of the edge at all there. It does look like we're a little close, and if I'm ready to really finish my card, I think I might go through and really get up close there and get closer. But for our purposes, we stay back from the edge, we use shading, and then my favorite tip is use the color lifter. This is just a one item thing. There's not a combo pack because it's basically white, but it doesn't apply a white color. It pulls color out. And so what I do is I go right in and lift some of the color from inside. And it looks a little odd, I know, but when you're finished, you'll be amazed at what it does for your card. Just going to lift a little bit of color. If you think you have some dark areas and you want to lighten them a little bit, like right there, I just lift a little color. And actually what it does is it gives kind of a highlight. So I'm just adding the color lifter in there. And there you go. Now your flower, at first glance you think, oh, that looks odd. But I did the same thing on my card, and look how pretty that looks when your card is all finished. So your three tips are stay back from the edge, use shading, and use the color lifter. Now for my card today, I'm going to put a PDF tutorial attached down below that you can print out and look at. And then I have, because we're in Celebration, Stampin' Up's biggest sale of the year, I wanted to tell you that to purchase the stamp set, All That You Are, and these Stampin' Blends come to $54 US, and that qualifies you, that order would qualify you for a free gift in Celebration from the Celebration catalog. So I'm going to list the item numbers for you, and the happy birthday sentiment even comes here also, is in this set. I stamped that using Lovely Lipstick ink, and you'll see in the PDF tutorial everything else that I use there. So I'd love to have you as my customer and give you even more tips as my customer. We can communicate via email or even telephone. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video, the 3 tips using Stampin' Blends, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.